Listen, I'm going to give him a shot again. I'm going to be honest. His first term, kind of a dumpster fire. But if the next one is better, then I will admit so. However, I don't think that you're being terribly honest about some of these things. You understand his opposition to critical race theory. Critical race theory is basically teaching white kids or just teaching people in general that race should be at the forefront of all thoughts about society and that it's impossible for us to be anti-racist without being consumed by the discussion of racism. Does this sound like anybody? Kind of sounds like you. He's saying he wants to destroy that. He wants to basically make it so you can't teach anything negative about white people racially in school. The sinister reading of that is that it's going to be very, very difficult.
Did you miss all the other stuff
It's going to be very, very difficult for teachers to even teach about slavery in school.
They've already been removing that. They've been removing that the last 20 years.
No.
Man, my daughter's 20 years old. They didn't teach her nothing about Malcolm, Martin, none of that. They've been bamboozled, knocking down the statues of Robert E. Lee and these slave owners. They've been trying to erase.
But this is a relatively new thing.
When your daughter gets of age, slavery will pretty much be erased. She won't know about it.
And he's promising that.
No, they're already doing that.
I don't think so.
Yes, they don't talk about it. They're knocking down the statues. They've been removing the statues for the last 5-10 years.
The thing about the Republicans is that they complain about the fact that critical race theory is so prevalent in schools, AKA there's too much being taught about slavery and about racism, et cetera. That's the Republican viewpoint, is that there's too much of this going on.
The last 20 years, it has not been being taught.
I think that's kind of silly. Do they teach about slavery in schools?
I'm telling you, they don't.
But, okay, this is the problem. It's idiotic to think that you shouldn't teach about slavery in schools. It's part of our fucking history as a country.
I'm with you.
Listen, if you are high school age, please let us know, did you learn about slavery in school? I feel like, yes, for the most part. You're definitely learning about slavery in school.
No, they haven't been teaching about it. They stopped quite a long time ago. I'm not BSing you.
How old are you?
I'm telling you.
I'm class of 2010, and I didn't learn shit about slavery.
You didn't learn anything about slavery in school?
I'm telling you, my daughter's 12 years young. I asked her.
That's shocking.
She Black Student Union to learn about that type
the stuff
had
they
to go
taught
to
us,
the Black Student Union to learn about it. Wow.
The stuff they taught us, I asked my daughter, she's like, nah, they didn't teach, not even doing Black History Month.
Wow. That's crazy. I'm surprised.
They've been cut the statues. When they're removing the statues, okay, we're going to get rid of them for you guys.
But so you're against that?
Totally against. They should stay up.
So if there's a statue of a former president and he owned slaves.
You should stay. You know why?
If he was important during his time, keep the statue up.
So when the kids say,
I agree.
The kids say, Dad, who is that? I can say that's Robert E. Lee. He was a slave owner.
Let us discuss him, his faults, his accomplishments.
When you remove that,
sure,
it's never talked about.
If in his time he was considered important enough to deserve a statue, keep the motherfucking statue up.
That's a fact.
But what if there's like a statue of Hitler in your town?
It is what it is. The history, no. I'm going to tell you why. Hold on, brother.
You're going to keep the Hitler statue up?
Ye address this. The history of Hitler, bro, is very
Hitler
important.
is bad. Please don't become a Hitler is actually good guy.
I'm not saying it's not bad, but it's a history to it to explain why those people that were oppressed and slaughtered, right? Why they feel the way they feel today. If you erase that, right, you get a Jewish guy and he's speaking the way he's speaking and you wonder why. Like, why do you feel this way? If you just erase that, if you keep that there, and people can understand and identify that, then they already understand why these people feel the way they feel. But if you erase that, it starts to look like the Jewish people is on some bullshit, when really they're not, right? It looks like, hey, why do you guys hate these people? If you erase that, the action, right? Now the reaction now becomes the action.
But don't you feel like having a statue of somebody in your town, in the downtown area, is like, it's like a day-to-day celebration of that person.
No, that's part of history.
Listen,
you can go by and throw eggs at it.
Thomas Jefferson owned slaves, but I feel like his other accomplishments kind of outweigh the fact that he owned slaves. But there's some people, like with Hitler, it's like, yeah, I'm sure he accomplished a bunch of good stuff along the way, but the bad stuff just so massively outweighs it.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Did Hitler have an impact on the world and history as it is today?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Therefore, he should not be erased so people could understand the order of events.
Okay, for sure he shouldn't be erased, but should he be celebrated?
Putting a statue up is not celebrated.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. We build statues of people that we respect. We don't build a fucking statue of Voldemort.
Okay, then put a statue up of him and put a goddamn bullet in his brain. I don't know. I don't know what you want to do. I'm saying let's not erase what that was, because now it starts to make our Jewish community look like they're the bad people.
I feel like the Jewish community are probably the number one people that wouldn't want the Hitler statue.
No, what I'm saying is, if you erase that, right, and you hear the Jewish people speaking about that, right, you start to wonder, the people that don't know about it, why they feel this way about them. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Right? Now the reaction, which is the Jewish people, they're reacting to an action of what they went through. The Holocaust, right?
Shouldn't we expect more of people than to just assume that because a statue was taken down, that it was taken down for nefarious reasons?
I mean, that's why they're taking it down. They're taking it down because people are offended.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be offended by history. I'm not offended by slavery.
I'm only offended by the celebration of that person. If it feels like their contributions to the world was net overall
people
negative.
That stand for what Hitler stood for are going to celebrate that anyways. People that don't, I would.
But it's even easier to celebrate them if there's a statue.
If you have a Jewish family walking by a Hitler statue, they would stop.
See that alone, that sounds horrible.
No,
I don't want to encourage that.
No, listen. Should be able to stop and tell their child who this is. You know the stories we tell you, the things our people went through, the pictures we show you, the mass graves, the horrible things. It was all led by this man.
Why don't we take it a step further? Why don't we actually just like create a giant statue of a concentration camp in the middle of downtown?
Well, I mean,
if we want to remind people of all the terrible things that happened.
I mean, why put a bunch of dead? Like,
if
why
the
would you do
statue
that?
is Hitler looking triumphant and glorious in all his glory, yeah. That's bad. I don't want that. Why? What about a statue of the concentration camp? Let's acknowledge his worst contributions to the world.
Hey, take the concentration
camp. Because we can't even name anything good he did. The only thing we could think of with Hitler is the bad stuff.
Let me tell you the good he did do.
Come on.
No, let me tell you the good he did do.
Nick Fuentes.
He showed us what we shouldn't do.
Thank God. I could have thought up a bunch of evil shit to not do.
No, that's real. And it showed the world and our world leaders on the things they need to stop immediately the minute anybody is moving forward the way he did. Immediately. These countries is doing certain things that I'm seeing now, we've been seeing over the last year, right? That's like Hitler stuff to me.
Should we put...
bombing schools and hospitals, that's Hitler stuff to me. All that type of stuff need to be stopped. Murdering of women and children, innocent people, I don't care where it's at. Bro, that's Hitler-style stuff. It need to be stopped.
By your logic, I think
just real stuff.
By your logic, we should put a statue of Eric Holder on Crenshaw. No, we shouldn't.
No.
It's a constant memory of something terrible that we don't want to think about, right?
No.
And never mind me, people who live in those communities.
Listen, this is the way I see it. It should be a statue of Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
Right?
Much better.
And then it should be the story of Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
Whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
And then it definitely
another statue
should be a statue of Eric Holder.
What? Why not just not do a statue?
I'm gonna tell you why. To teach the people, right, what this individual did.
I think the statue of Nipsey gets that point across.
No, it gets across of what he did, his accomplishments, and then we have to put a face on the individual who may have disrupted that in whatever the story is. People should know the good and the bad of things.
Luckily, people have Google. So if they want to say, how did Nipsey die?
Yeah, we know that.
Type that in.
We know that.
Figure it out.
But guess what?
Maybe a little placard
but guess what?
that says he died under horrible circumstances.
If you walk up and you see a statue of Nipsey, right? And they say, okay, who was that? Okay, that's Nipsey Hussle. You know, he was this, he was that. He did this for the community, this, that, and other. Okay, cool. Okay, who is that? Okay, that's the guy who murdered Nipsey Hussle. And
people are going to say, wow, why is there a statue of him?
Say,
what the f?
Say, why did he do that? And they can say, well, you know, he suffered, he had mental problems, he felt pressured, you know, but he took an innocent man's life for whatever reason. And this is maybe the type of guy you would want to be like, and this is the guy you wouldn't want to be like.
And if you do something that horrible, you might one day get a statue and be remembered forever.
Yeah, but look how you're being remembered.
Yeah, but you're still being remembered. To a lot of people, that's important.
You need to be remembered of what not to do. Where did the teaching come from?
I don't think. I'm very pleased, though, that I have somehow convinced you to argue that there should be a statue of Eric Holder on Crenshaw. Because that's not easy. If I had started there, I would not have been able to get you to admit that. But because we started with the Hitler thing, we were able to get to that.
There's a beginning, a middle, and end to every story. Right? Tell the story. And that's what it is.
Through statues.
Nipsey will get the praise and the praise.
Not every story needs to be told through statues.
And Eric Holder will get the shame.
Yeah, but that could be on like Wikipedia or a Vlad TV interview.
What they could do is make the praise statue maybe a black in color, and they can make the shame statues green. So now when the kids see green statues, they know that is the person who did something bad, who did misdeeds, who's to shame. What's wrong with that?
Because then when I go out and kill a op, I'm going to be thinking, well, shit, this is fucked up, but I'm going to get a green statue.
I mean, we're not talking about everybody killing an op. We're talking about people that's killing people, that's taken away from the people that's doing something positive in society.
If you're going to run for office, then you're going to have to stand against op killing.
Everybody's not doing that.